All right, I would like to call to order the Board of Library Trustees Board meeting for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burrell here. Trustee Gala here. Trustee Kelly
Here.
Trustee Meadow is absent.
No.
Sorry, Trustee Meadow
Here.
Trustee Roll is absent. Trustee Zick
Here.
Trustee Smart.
Here. All right, if we could stand for the voting, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No. All righty, could we have the liaison reports?
Friends, first.
Quick, we just had our fall sale and we did another 25,000. Sale. We haven't got the final deadline. And then our next sale is the holiday sale, which is going to be in Cardinal Room. I think it's December 2nd and 3rd. Membership is growing still, so we have a bunch of members. It's that we're excited to see the stuff down things downstairs, like be already. It's really good. So
Yeah.
and they keep corral.
Well, thank you. That's a great sale. And I'm sure holidays, always one of the biggest.
Save a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, nice. Well, thank you. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks to all the staff. All helpful. It was also busy with them. Sure, they could. Yeah, got a lot of extra help in my team this last months. Got some new additional credit card for Wi-Fi base, so they can keep one downstairs in your sales out. That's more important, like I say, with Gen by.
No. Get that synergy. Like it. All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. Foundation.
So I wanted to first thank Amy and Mike for joining us at our advisory team event, which was our kickoff for our 2-year campaign and annual appeal that I'll talk about in a minute. Very excited that our first impact report is out. I think most of you received it. I don't think you did. Comments? What should we add in the future? We probably will do it not every year, but so this is as we enter our 5th year. Is there things that you've heard? I know, right? Are there things that you've heard reported here that you would have wanted to see in the report that you think we should share with our donors and community? I am going to leave at the desk on 2 so people can pick some of them up. We're going to attach it to our Facebook page. We'll be doing some drop-down stories throughout the year. Any comments? Yeah.
I appreciate the numbers, like the data that was in there, just to kind of see at a glance. Just how much has been raised, I think you put in there.
Yep.
And then also just the photos. I mean, just because, well, personally, I recognize too, like, oh yeah, that was that event. So, no, I thought it was great. It was a good synopsis too, and kind of, even though we hear you speak, but just as a kind of a culmination of everything. Sure. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to add, I'm not sure it's up yet, but we've kept a spreadsheet of everything we've spent. Certainly a lot in the kitchen. And that whole total, the 243. So all of that is in a spreadsheet, and we're going to attach that to the report and have that drop down. So complete transparency for all of our donors, because every donor dollar goes into their suggested area. The board itself funds our operations. So we don't spend anything. Luckily we get to use this room, and we can meet over at the Maker Place, or we don't have insurance is, I think, our biggest cost in producing things like this. So anyway, I'm glad you liked it.
I love seeing it. I've seen it online, and I think, even pulling out certain things and promoting them is helpful. It's anywhere you can put it, anywhere that people will see it. I think
Right.
It's great. Yeah, I like the idea of having some at the desk as well.
Yeah. We did an overrun,
How about the Maker Place desk?
I would love to put some there.
I mean, only you funded such a big part of that. I
Right.
think that might be nice if you have,
We have fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it turns out, I thought we were out of our brochure, and when I saw, we did that a year ago. And I didn't want to run 500, so to do a smaller run, it came down to about $9 a piece, and that seemed ridiculous.
Yeah,
And then I found a box in our storage area, which obviously I hadn't done a good job taking inventory. So anyway, our annual appeal is, oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to remember, another thing is was seeing the scholarship recipients. That was the big thing. Because we had heard about it, but actually seeing, that was a big part of it. And I think for the community members or donors to be able to see, who actually see faces to it and see that this is what the foundation built to. That scholarship.
So-
Sorry to interrupt. There was something else.
Perfect segue.
Oh, well, good.
So
Thank you for
this
the-
is around, should be my perfect. This is our newest, but we will kick off. The website opens January the 1st. And you notice the pictures of our recipients from last year are on the new poster and flyer. And we're working really closely with 214 to get those distributed through the schools. We've had a meeting with some of their counselors. They're willing to work with us on. We also are expanding it to all of 214, which will make it a lot easier. We might get a few more recipients as well. Another change is the name scholarship. I have convinced the Maroney family that we should name their son Jeff as the Jeffrey T. Maroney Scholarship, which will save a lot of us headaches that we were trying to explain JPM or the Foundation Scholarship last year, and they were both the same. Just the Maroney family funds that one, which we're very pleased with. Yes.
how about, so open to all District 214 high school graduates. I thought you could just live in high school District 214, like go to Vida or go to Christian Liberty. No,
We probably wouldn't turn them down.
right,
However,
you're,
Viator students are not interested in the trades.
I was also thinking that the two young men who won last year, I'm sure are very good ambassadors because they took Project Lead the Way in all those classes that they took, telling their friends that were a year younger in the same classes. I mean, I think,
So we've shot a video with Jake,
oh,
and
cool,
that will be online to promote
nice.
the kickoff of the scholarships in January. I'm also going to work with the library, and we've extended the time so that we can incorporate the trade show at Rowan Meadows High School. Last year, our deadline was before that.
Mhm.
So as I've talked to them and working with Dr. Lopez, he was very encouraging that we attend that. So
Mhm.
that helps the committee make their decision to extend that timeline.
And you do say candidates will live within, not attend, so that incorporates.
We wouldn't turn them down. but-
Yeah,
Yeah,
does incorporate private schools.
yeah, we're trying not to limit it. When I talked to the committee, who made this decision, it was, are we doing this so we can help the trades? Are we doing this kind of like the difference between PTA and PTO? Is it to do it for our own or for all? And we all decided it was to support the trades,
Right,
for the all.
right.
Any other questions on that?
It's good.
Oh, I would love, I don't know if it would ever work, but once you're a couple years in, to announce it maybe the week before graduation, because every school has like the honors assembly where they get a special ribbon if they're the, athlete of, there are special awards given out. And I would love for the recipients to be able to wear a special banner or something to demonstrate that this is just as important as some of the, there's music scholarships and athletic ones and all that. But I know that you need a long enough time
Well,
to
and
get
depending
here.
on how many you get.
Yeah,
That can make a difference.
yeah.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
I wanted
right,
that to
right,
happen last year,
Yeah.
and then I didn't have the full support of the committee.
Okay. Yeah.
This year, the committee has sort of weighed in on the importance of showcasing
Right.
these young people, so I think that that might be a difference this year. And part of it comes in timing,
Right.
you know, because we extended the time, and we've done it again this year,
Mhm.
to incorporate a larger audience. You know, it had to be in like by May the 9th. And we didn't have time to get all of that stuff done,
Right. Right.
because we cut it off at May the 1st.
Yeah. That's
So it was so
quick
tight.
turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were at our.
Yeah, it was fabulous. I mean, the two young men were wonderful. Their families were super excited. The Maronis were all there. I loved that they also presented them with like one of the fellows got a box of tools and the other one got,
So he got a nail gun
yeah,
that he's going into carpentry and he'll use
yeah.
to
It's
progress
like,
in his career.
I just thought that was such a nice addition.
And the other one he's going to welding and he got a welding helmet. And the chairman, that was his idea to make our scholarship a little bit different. It's one of the ones you read about in the paper.
You
all
just
the time.
get, yeah, I just thought that was a really nice way to sort of acknowledge their different areas of skill as well.
Do you promote this at Harper?
Yes.
Yeah, since the age is up to 25, yeah.
Yeah, because the Maronis were very strong about pushing it to 25 because Jeff didn't really realize what his avenue should be until he was about 22 or 23. And they didn't want to miss out on some of the people who go 2 years of college and realize this is not for me. I want to do something else with my life. So we want to be able to capture all of that.
Right. Great.
So I mentioned that our annual appeal drops on Friday. They're all sitting in the hallway in my house, ready to go, waiting for the turkey to get eaten. And this year we're starting a 2-year campaign. We'd love to have all of you involved to raise $200,000 to help buy a new bookmobile. It's hard to market that right away because we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what you're looking for, but you know, but if he starts pushing you, because I'm pushing him, so that we can get to the donors to know what it's going to look like. And we're going to hold some focus groups and see what some of our major donors would consider, or if they contributed $10,000, how could we honor their donation? So we're thinking about all that, and we're going to talk to the donors. We'll certainly talk to all of you about it, but that's probably a year away. So I'm literally putting the bus before the
Right.
before they have a sit.
But
No, actually, I think we've already received a couple $1,000s toward this project, so we haven't promoted it yet. We have a January event called just Date Night, just the two of us. It's the 19th at Maker Place, and it's one of the staff here at the library, Jorge Solis, is going to demonstrate, and I don't know if you know Jorge, but he's quite the character. He asked if he could wear his whites and his cat, and I told him, sure, why not? He's quite the character, and he's going to be doing steak 2 ways, a vegetable, and a starch. It's more of a demonstration than actually cooking. So that we've got coming up, and we've also got honoring women in March. We're going to do empowering women. It's National Women's Month, and women have been taking kind of a beating lately, so we thought we would honor them and provide them with information and skills on how to use what's going on with the marketplace. Again, just trying to bring more people in and letting them know what's there and how do you do it. So we'll be having people demonstrate how to do it. Our board elections are next month, and we have presented a slate. The only difference is our treasurer is rolling off, and we have Chris Darrow, who is coming on, he was the CFO at CBS, so one of the pharmaceutical companies, so I think he'll do a fine job with our little tiny budget. But Gary's not rolling off. He's rolling off as treasurer, but he's going to stay on the foundation board, and he's going to start as we move into our next 5 years, putting a strategic plan together for where do we go in the next 5 years. So we're working on that, and replacing leadership, etc. Yeah, and I mentioned the scholarship program. So, do you have any questions? No.
All good as usual.
That's great.
Okay. Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of October 17th. Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful. Of Trustees joint meeting with the Park District Board, which was held on October 28th, 2023.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving to approve the committee of the whole meeting, which took place on Monday, November 6th, 2023. You have a motion.
I move approval of the minutes for the committee of the whole meeting for was November 6th, 2023.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Can you just
Aye.
Yeah.
comment
Oh,
under,
sure.
this one doesn't have the date on the top of it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get that.
It's in
line
that
up.
first paragraph, like, but
Yeah, but it should be.
So yes, I would choose motion of approval of minutes with that upgrade.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
With that change. Thank you. All right. There is an approval of a trustee expenditure. It's actually for me because I'm going to the Illinois Library Association legislative meetup and the fee was $45. So because that a trustee is taking part in that, I'm going to recuse myself. But someone needs to make the motion.
Sure. I move the Board of Library Trustees approve the reimbursement to Trustee Samari for registration to attend the Illinois Library Association legislative meetup in the amount of $45.
And I'll second.
Yeah, all right, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Burrow.
Yes.
Trustee Gallup.
Yes.
Trustee Kelly.
Aye.
Trustee Meadow.
Yes.
Trustee Rule is absent. Trustee Zick.
Yes.
Trustee Smart.
I abstain. All right, thank you very much. I think someone might be joining me. Yeah. All right, the financial report.
Okay. All right, for October, we did not receive real estate tax receipts in the month of October. The library received personal property replacement taxes in the amount of $47,327.95. Our copier printer revenue totaled $4,215.74. Our meeting room fees were $125. Our lost item charges totaled $1,154.01. Our October interest income was $29,511.67. Our friends of the library reimbursed us $15,302.05, and that covered various costs, including author visits, interior landscaping, Panoramian Movie Club, and Sunday Musicale. We will have a large reimbursement or larger reimbursement the next month for the Hendrickson Room AV equipment. So you'll see that in November, and then in the November report. Revenue collected for vehicle stickers totaled $342. Makerspace miscellaneous revenue was $527.99. And the total revenue collected in October was $98,992.56. On the expense side, we are 83% of the way through our fiscal year, and we have expensed 76% of our total operating budget. Our favorable variance to date is $1,160,521. 31% of our total annual capital budget has been expensed as of October. This month, we did have a number of projects or payments for various projects, including the Kids World redesign, the lockers, and the Belmont window project. And as a reminder, the chillers and cooling towers project will largely be delayed to the 2024 budget year due to delay in manufacturing and shipping. So that is all I have for the financial report.
I just have a question. Do you happen to know the turnaround time for when you get the tax money. I know that as property owners, we had to have our taxes in by December, or we have to have them in December 1st.
You know, I'm not exactly sure. I wouldn't.
I
want to
just, I'm
speculate,
curious, I'm
yeah.
wondering if you'll get it sometime in December.
but Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
We get it
should.
in December, yeah.
So for
The bulk of them probably December and then they'll come into January too.
right,
January,
people
February.
are late. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, how about the check register?
Okay, I had a few questions on checks this month. The first one on page 2 and page 26, check 101601 to Simply Analytics in the amount of $36,159.75. This is a 3-year subscription starting in November of 2023 to Simply Analytics. This is a new web-based data analytics and visualization application. The portion related to the years beyond 2023 are coded as prepaid and then expensed in those future years. So only paying a portion of that technically in this budget year. Also on page 2, check 101605 to SpringShare LLC in the amount of $3,814. That is our 2024 subscription for not only our texting and ticketing service, but also a 24/7 reference services chat cooperative, which ensures our customers have around-the-clock access to expert MLS degree librarians via the online chat to assist with their research and information needs. Also on page 2, check 101621 to World Archives in the amount of $11,486. That is for 2024 microfilm subscription to the Daily Herald. That's again prepaid in 2023. It will be expensed in 2024. Yeah, online. That's okay. On page 3, check 101471. That is to AHML. It's an American Express charge to Omni Hotel in the amount of $965.58. That is hotel costs for our digital media specialist, Chris Smith, for attending the Adobe Max conference in Los Angeles in October. Also on page 3, check 101472 to Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services in the amount of $7,200. That is a renewal premium for our treasurer's bond, which covers Tom Keeney, who is our treasurer at the village. He's considered the custodian of the library funds. Illinois law requires that we hold a bond in the amount of at least 50% of total funds received by the library in the last fiscal year. Surety bonds protect government entities from financial loss in the event of a bonded individual fails to fulfill their professional obligation.
Mike?
Yeah.
Specific for Tom, is that something that we're splitting with them, the cost?
I think we cover what our amount would be.
Cost would be just for the library.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, on page 4, check 101536 to Jackson Manufacturers Company in the amount of $1,150. This is for an under-counter return bin as part of the Kids World Refresh project, so customers can return items right at the Kids World desk rather than having to go to the other parts of the library to do so. On page 5, check 101583 to Quick Delivery Service in the amount of $720.22. This is a third-party service that we use to deliver items to the senior center and pick up items from book drops. The vendor invoices us more frequently than once a month, which is why there are multiple lines for October. This service is used more frequently when our bookmobile department is short-staffed. On page 11, check 101471, also to AHML. It's another American Express charge. This is for pdq.com, and that is in the amount of $1,275. PDQ it's a online software which streamlines our Windows patch management or security updates for our computers. It also helps us deploy software to all of the computers throughout the library from our IT department. On page 13, check 101499 to Dame Mechanical Industries in the amount of $15,598. That is for payment for work earned on the chillers and cooling towers project. That includes bonds, layout, and 2 chillers. The remainder of the project will be shifted to 2024 as we discussed, and it will be billed next year. Page 14, check 101527 and 101570 to IGS and to NICOR. There's various amounts there. That is natural gas charges for the main library. We're actually invoiced separately by street. So the Vale Street side and the Dunn side, because we have 2 streets. surrounding our building. Yeah,
Seems odd.
I know.
Okay.
And then also for Maker Place, we don't pay anything for the gas at the senior center. Then on page 19, check 101549 to Lakeshore Learning Materials in the amount of $483.25. That is for a variety of mystery boxes, gems, and other colorful sensory materials for our Time program, which is an inclusive drop-in play group where children ages 0 to 5 who receive or are considering therapy services can play while families meet and find support. On page 25, check 101586 to Rails in the amount of $1,375. That is subscription to the 9-month season of the Illinois Libraries Presents, which includes monthly shared programs with other libraries across the state. The membership fee is based on each library's size as determined by its operating budget. And then on page 27, check 101456 to 4Imprint in the amount of $456.44. That is for 36 Arlington Heights Memorial Library branded umbrellas for the Library of Things collection that people can check out. That is everything I have for the check register. Anybody have any additional questions?
Then I move approval for the accounts. Although, actually, are there 3 C's in accounts in the top?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, it doesn't, I mean, do we correct that?
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's a kind of stuff, yeah, it's kind of-
So I was blurring from a second. Okay, so with the exception of spelling change of 2 C's, I move approval of the accounts payable check register for the Arlington Heights Memorial Library for October 31st, 2023 in the amount of $1,967,401.27.
Second,
Call please.
Trustee Burrell,
Yes.
trustee Gavin,
Yes.
trustee Kelly,
Aye.
trustee Meadow.
Yes.
Trustee Rule is absent, trustee Zick,
yes.
trustee Samar.
Aye. Right, executive director's report.
All right. Highlight secret. I'll highlight a few things from the director's report this month. On the first page, the window installation at the Maker Place. So we've replaced most of the windows on the main floor. The original windows were they were pretty rough. Some of them didn't close properly. They didn't do a great job of keeping the weather outside. So we went out to bid for the priority windows on the main floor. We ended up coming in under budget, and so we're able to accept the additional windows, basically replacing all of the windows on the main floor, with the exception of the very large ones that are kind of bookend that first floor. So they look wonderful. They look very, very similar to the original windows. Our facilities manager, Gary Leclerc, did a fantastic job working with the contractors on this, getting less expensive materials, good quality, but also look very period correct. So that's complete. Also on the first page, the elevator door and trim refresh. So during COVID, the chemicals that we were using to clean the elevators was very harsh on the metals, the brass finish. And so we had a company come in and refinish the doors and the bright work on the inside. Right, then page 3. Thanks to the Friends of Our Library, the library sponsored award-winning author Jasmine Warga to visit local South and Thomas middle schools. Warga presented on her 3 popular middle grade novels, which topics range from school gun violence and refugee crises to the journey of the Mars rover. At each school, student fans of her work clamored for a spot to be one of the 15 lucky raffle winners to join Jasmine for an intimate lunch conversation. Over 2 days, Warga saw more than 1,300 people in the Arlington Heights community. Next page, our business services advisor, Diane Malik, partnered with the Village of Arlington Heights to host a small business resource open house. The open house was held at the Village Hall and included 8 organizations that support entrepreneurs and small businesses. Organizations included the Arlington Heights Memorial Library, Village of Arlington Heights Department of Planning and Community Development, Arlington Heights Chamber of Commerce, Meet Chicago Northwest, SCORE Business Mentoring, Small Business Development Center at Harper College, Arlington Heights Park District, and the High School District 214 Center for career discovery and apprenticeships. 46 people attended over the course of 2 hours. On that same page at the bottom, Greece was the word for the 33 attendees at the Inclusion Awareness Kickoff Sock Hop for adults of all abilities. Staff teamed up with host partygoers who made grease lightning paper cars and decorated Pink Lady paper dolls, danced, received a keepsake photo booth picture, and played dance games to the music of Disc Jockey Brian. Northwest Special Recreation Association partnered with the library to provide support and transportation for those who requested it. Wanted to point out that this year's Inclusion Awareness Month featured 12 programs for both adults and youth with total attendance of 315, which is a 91% increase over last year's inclusion programs attendance. So seeing much more attendance there, much higher attendance. On the next page, wanted to highlight the Community Service Project. Our Community Engagement Liaison, Catalina Shin, collaborated with Programs and Exhibit Specialist Neil Parker to kick off the service project season, which involves community members cooking meals to be donated to partners addressing homelessness and food insecurity. The initiative provided a warm dinner and to-go lunch for over 30 individuals for the pad site at First Presbyterian Church. Oh, yeah. On the next page, the culmination of the library's 10th annual One Book, One Village Community Read Initiative was a huge success. 180 attendees joined author Catherine Adele West at Forest View Auditorium, and 87 viewers live streamed the event. Catherine Adele West and Natalie Moore's in conversation portion of the event received rave reviews, and the live Q&A demonstrated how much the community enjoyed getting to know Catherine and Sarah. The in-person event remains one of the most impactful events of the year for us. And the video is now hosted on the library's YouTube channel, where it has almost 350 views and continues to draw engagement and connect readers with Catherine and her book. The video will remain available through January. And on the next page, on October 5th, Jim and Greg of Sound Opinions returned to the library in person for the first time since the pandemic. Staff welcome back these nationally loved Chicago-based music critics and work with them to create a program custom to OBOB, Sound Opinions, Civil Rights, and the Sounds of Memphis. Jim and Greg crafted a flawless presentation that took attendees through a tour of civil rights and Memphis soul music as portrayed in The Two Lives of Sarah. They celebrated Catherine Adele West's writing along the way, pulling out quotes directly from the book to set the stage for song choices. 45 music lovers were engaged throughout, enjoyed listening, watching videos, and shared excellent questions. And then to end the month, staff hosted the first vinyl listening party since the pandemic with assist from in-house musician and record collector Charlie Crane of Digital Services. Staff brought a selection of records from the era of The Two Lives of Sarah. Attendees joined in, shared their memories of certain tracks, requested songs, and simply enjoyed conversation with like-minded folks across ages for 2 full hours. Let's go to page 9. On Thursday, October 12th, 17 community members joined in the creative arts space of the Maker Place to create no-sew blankets. During this second session of the library's OBOB service project, participants made 7 blankets for the North and Central Chicagoland chapter of Project Linus. Representatives from Project Linus visited the group and shared touching stories of the children and families that are impacted by the warmth and love provided by these handmade blankets. In total, the OBOB service project donated 15 blankets. All right, then going to the last page. More than 60 attendees joined the Illinois Library Association conference session, making technology accessible, creating an assistive tools kit. Our senior and accessible services supervisor, Katie Myers, and our Maker Place assistant manager, Chris Kruger, partnered to present the assistive tools kit service model. Ideas were shared for implementing this type of project in other libraries and how the project has helped the library engage, connect new audiences. I went to the session at the ILA conference. It was a very good session. There were, I think we said, about 60 attendees there. And afterwards, I went up to just let Chris and Katie know how great they did. I couldn't even get near them. There were so many people up there talking to them. So it was a fantastic presentation, continued notoriety for our library and real engagement with other libraries. So it was a very good presentation. So that's all I have for the director's report, unless anybody has questions.
All right, I have to say that Jasmine Varga visit, I think was really impressive too, and she was one of the speakers for the presentation that we saw on book banning, and how lucky we are that she could come for 2 days. I know she lives local, or North Shore, right?
Right.
So that's great. And again, a lot of outreach. I think it's fabulous that we're in our community and serving different needs in the community in terms of like the cooking for pads and Linus blankets. And so as usual, lots going on and all good stuff. Yes.
Just to kind of piggyback off what you just said, is with the Jasmine Varga, her visit. My youngest is in a book club, like outside of just in the community, and they brought all the girls. My daughter couldn't make it; she's a gymnastics, but so just to be in full transparency, but all the kids came as part of the book club, one together, because they read a Rover story. So it was when you said that, I'm reminded, like, yes, that was a community, a separate group that came specifically just to see her because they were also reading the book. So just pretty cool that they had that opportunity too.
Great.
Yeah, great. Looking at the dashboard, so I have a question. Will we be done with Hendrickson room this fiscal year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. You're looking at the financial dashboard?
Yeah, I mean, just at the end of year.
Mhm.
So everything else is sort of will go into next year, correct?
So Kids World Project will wrap up very soon. So we're still seeing bills coming in for that one that will be completed. Circ lockers will be, we've been moving around with the slab on where that one's gonna end up. So that will probably, our portion of that may wrap up this year, may go into next year a little bit, but we do have some money that could cover the slab if needed. Hendrickson room will be completed this year. Staff public computers was completed. Door access controllers is actually completed as of now, or they're just wrapping it up. So we'll see that come through probably next month. The lighting was complete. That lighting upgrade, I'm not sure why that didn't show up in there. I think because maybe it was under the capital amount, so I'll double check with Tracy.
So really just the chillers and cooling towers will not be complete this year. And then the partnership on the Belmont lot is also, but everything else will come through this budget year.
Yeah, the all gender restroom we didn't end up doing. That was for upstairs, the second floor. That's wrapped into the projects
Okay.
that we'll be talking about in a little bit.
Okay, all right. Good. Anyone else? Any questions? All right, old business then. New HR policy, paid leave for all workers.
Okay, so this is the policy that we discussed at the November Committee of the Whole meeting. This is to bring us in compliance with the Paid Leave for All Workers Act that will go into effect January 1st. This outlines benefits for basically all employees who are not currently entitled to at least 40 hours of paid time off under other library policies.
Does anyone have any questions?
I'll make a motion. The Board of Library Trustees adopts human resource policy paid leave for all workers effective January 1, 2024.
Second.
May I have a roll?
Trustee Burrell,
Yes.
trustee Gala,
Yes.
trustee Kelly, trustee Meadow.
Yeah.
Trustee Rule is absent, trustee Zink,
Yes.
trustee Samari.
Right, moving on to another HR, adoption of proposed revisions to policy 3.001 material selection.
Okay, so this is another policy that we discussed at the November Committee of the Whole meeting. This change to this policy, it's a very slight change to the policy. It will just ensure that we are in compliance with the book ban law that goes into effect on January 1st, 2024. The law states that each Illinois library that receives state grants to establish an anti-censorship policy. One of those things that we can do is to adopt the American Library Association's Library Bill of Rights. We had previously in our material selection policy that we uphold the ALA Bill of Rights. We're changing the terminology to remove any doubt as to whether the library is in compliance to adopts and adheres to the principles set forth in the Library Bill of Rights.
Board of Library Trustees adopts revisions to policy 3.001 material selection.
All right, could I have a roll?
Trustee Barrett,
Yes.
trustee Gala.
Yes.
Trustee Kelly. Trustee Meadow.
Yes.
Trustee Rule is absent. Trustee Zick.
Yes.
Trustee Samar.
Aye. Right. New business.
All right, so for 2024, as you know, since we just went through the budget process, one of the things that we're including in this budget is capital improvements to our restrooms in a couple of areas throughout the library. We've been working with Williams Architects on planning for this, and what we wanted to bring tonight is kind of a first look at our plan to move forward. We've been working with them on how we're going to change some things. Most of the stuff is, changing restrooms over and refreshing them, but we've looked with them on how we can do an all-gender restroom upstairs, along with a couple other things. So I'm going to ask Andy and Natalie if you'd like to come up and take over. I will get the presentation up on the big screen here. Give me 1 minute.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having us tonight. Most of you know me, Andy from Williams Architects. Over the years, you've heard a lot of my words and presentations in these various rooms. So for tonight, I'm going to turn most of our presentation over to Natalie Clemens, one of our project managers, to talk about the 2024 projects. And Brooke Irving from SMC is also here to go through the budget for these. So tonight is just about taking you through the scope, the budget, the anticipated schedule for construction, and seeing what questions and comments all of you have. This is all finalized. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Natalie, and to go through it.
Started looking at all the restrooms and the interior renovations that the library wants to achieve next year. I just, as part of that study, sorry, there's a transition here. We did, we wanted to encapsulate the project understanding, show some of the existing conditions and what the library is really fighting with that. The facility planning, that's kind of the layouts that we're doing, the design concepts we did, touch on the estimates, and then recommendations that we can make for your decision making process, please. So we wanted to provide an ADA gender neutral single user toilet on the second floor. That is currently not something the library has. It has been accounted for downstairs, but not up here on the second floor. We needed to address the ADA facility report that you guys had done a couple of years ago. For the most part, the plumbing is all set correctly. It is all the accessories and extra things in the room that do not align with ADA standards that are set by the Illinois Accessibility Code and the National ADA Code. We want to keep the facility contemporary. A lot of the things in here are a little bit outdated. So we want to update those aesthetics and make sure with this contemporary, what are we doing to make sure you are staying in line with what other libraries and other public facilities are doing in general. Economize the space, kind of take spaces that maybe we're not using as well as we could and use them better, and improve the security around here. Okay, so existing conditions, one of the goals was to eliminate this tile that you see that is kind of spread out randomly throughout the library in random different rooms, and then kind of update these tile sets that were a little outdated. And then a lot of these items are the ones that do not comply with the accessibility code, just so you know. So we looked at every restroom in the library. We're going to start here on the first floor because most of that first floor is that tile that wants to be updated. This is when you enter through the garage. So what we want to do first is update this lobby area down at the first floor garage. we as a team have worked through the process of this study to decide that we don't want to convert it back to tile. We want to do a walk-off carpet. That is a carpeting. It has a nice finished look, but it's very easily cleanable, and it'll be a tile carpet that can be replaced easily in the process. We want to, we'll have to redo the base. It's got a tile base, so we'll have to redo the base around the room. Just painting and updating the walls and the ceilings. We've added in alternates to this project, so when we do go out and price and bid, this ceilings will be a part of that. And also provide wall covering. That room gets pretty beat up with the amount of carts and public that come in and use it. Just to apply a wainscoting around the room like you have in here. Maybe it's not wood, maybe it's something similar, but that has not been chosen yet. For the elevators, we want to extend that to the elevators. The tiles in the elevators, one are the tile that wants to be removed, but they're also very cracked. That is just natural in elevators with the movement. Those tile floors don't stay set very well. So we want to change that to the new walk-off carpet as well. And we're also going to touch both of these vestibules and try to make them look like they're more interior to the library instead of part of the garage. And in doing that, we're going to pull these walk-off grills and fill them in and make all new walk-off carpet in there. Paint the walls of those to match the inside rather than the outside garage materials. For the toilet room, this is the toilets on the first floor. This is over in the kids' room. So the goal here is to match what is going on in the kids' zone right now. And we're just gonna upgrade these and upgrade the finishes on them. Again, the plumbing fixtures are set right. So that's really like a big cost saving for us in this whole entire project. We don't have to move toilets and sinks. The plumbing itself is set correctly. We're just redoing the finishes in these rooms. We've added an alternate of this janitor's closet. I don't know, but I'm sure you guys don't look in that janitor's closet. But it is a mess. The flooring is peeled up, the walls are beat up. So if we're in the area, it's a good time to just get it updated. And we're gonna redo this that we found in the area to again match what the rest of what's going on with the kids. So we have a couple of options for the restrooms up here, and we would love your input on how you think they should be, how it's gonna work. We're gonna redo these 2 restrooms as part of the base bid and redo the existing toilet, employee toilets that you access through the break room. We are adding here a gender neutral ADA single user toilet that can be, you come up the stairs right here. This is the seating area. This is that front desk. So we will be taking up the space of the existing vending machine. Now we have incorporated that back in the vending and kind of, if I can backtrack here a little bit, I don't know if you guys use it. It's kind of got this little seating arrangement in there. So we want to, I'm sorry, I don't know these transitions.
They're very impressive.
We want to remove that and kind of, we already have seating set up out here in those nice little tables. Utilize the seating that's already there so that we can turn that room into something just more useful for the library in general. And part of the goal of this layout is to maintain this storage area, actually expand it a little bit, that you access through the staff lounge, because right now there's a lot of extra chair and furniture storage. It used to be the old mail room, but now there's a lot of extra chair and furniture storage there that staff can use that space more appropriately if we keep it open and keep it bigger. Option B changes it up a little bit. We keep the vending area as it is, redo this counter, move the vending from this wall right here to this wall right here, and we open up this single user toilet. With this option, this gives staff direct use, but we would have to install a staff door to get into the lounge. So maybe something with a key fob that they use now or their key code to get in. And with this option, it also leaves the existing toilets for the staff to be, the public can come and stand around these doors. This option.
Right, so is this way where the break room is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've eliminated that storage area for the break room. Right here. Turn it into a public hallway.
So where is the storage?
It's
There's
just
one.
gone. Okay. And then we have some other staff restrooms that are just around that we're adding it as an alternate. If we can get them in and get all this stuff updated and similar throughout the entire library, that would be preferred. So right now there's these staff rooms right here, right outside this room here. Get those updated to the new finishes. And on the first floor, there's one that is to the west of Kids World that needs to be updated as well. Again, and that's just a finish remodel. Those are alternates, so they will not we'll have a basement and an alternate, and Brooke will explain that a little bit more to you as we go. So we did, oh, this is a funny one. We did meet with our interiors team. We didn't want to make real selections. So nothing here has been selected, but some of the project members have come in and looked at a preliminary look. They want to match the main restroom downstairs. It's right by the surf desk. So this is that tile. It's in there. We're also doing an alternate tile. This is the tile that is in Kids World right now. Whether or not you want to go with that newer tile or this one that's already there, the staff was back and forth. So you're going to see a lot of this too. These are both white tiles. Those are, as you can tell by the white space. So those are both subway tile looks. They're larger tiles to go on the wall. And then there's some accent tiles that we throw in around the sinks and sometimes behind the toilets and stuff, just to give the room a little pop of character. So those are preliminary for the adult restrooms. The children's restrooms, we are going to match to what is going on right now in Kids World. So there is a question, again, it's floor tile, matching the existing wall tiles, and then there's a question if you do, since they are the larger tiles, if you want to add a little bit more pop of color in those larger rooms. There's plenty of variety as to what matches Kids World already. I think one difference here that we're adding in as alternate as well. Kids World, we are keeping all four walls of the room tiled as they currently are. Now, all of the other bathrooms also have all four tiled, but we're adding just tile for the plumbing wall, and then the alternate will be to finish all the walls. Just so you know, when you see that price difference.
To finish paint the walls?
Yeah, we'll do the plumbing wall and tile, and then the other walls will be painted. Right. And that's just a cost savings. If we can't get everything in, we can start pulling. And this is down, these are examples of walk-off carpet. There are some real basic ones, and then we can go a level up and kind of get one with some design in it. New wall base, it's got to be tall and a little bit more decorative to meet with the standards that you set in your library all the time. And here's an example of kind of wall protection that we can put up, so you won't get scuffed or dented walls down there.
What is the material of that sort of?
Well, there's several. We have some that are just thin plastic sheets by a company called Acrobat. There's another one that's a bit harder that we can use in elevators and stuff. It's called Hard Stop. And we could also even do something down here like what we did at the kitchen at the Maker place, where it's that subway tile looking FRP that goes around. We could match that over. Those are kind of all just standard kind of they're not the cheap stuff, but they're not like the really expensive stuff. It's nice middle grade things that you see everywhere. This one that we're showing, I think that looks a little bit more like you see them in hospitals all the time. That's kind of that, you know. I'll hand this over to Brooke. Go through that.
I'm not gonna, so you'll see a lot of alternates, I'm really gonna touch on those. I'm not gonna click it, but I'll take it. The base bid, as you see up there, is kind of everything that you touched on with option A, which would be the all gender in the vending area, not in the staff lounge. So that would be the base bid to do that, the kids' rolls, bathrooms, the 2 existing staff, and then the all gender restroom would be the base bid. And as she mentioned, all the walls, so the kids' world bathrooms would be the only ones that are all tiled, and the rest of them would be the level all tiled with the paint. So if we jump down the alternates, I just kind of want to explain each one. So for the bathrooms, unfortunately, we do have to redo the ceiling. Because all the walls are tiled, you cut the tile off the wall, you're gonna lose the angle on top of the ceiling. You won't be able to take down the tile without removing the ceilings. So the kids' world's bathroom, the existing staff bathrooms, and then obviously that all gender bathroom would get new ceiling tile off the bat. The only ACT ceiling tile we would leave as an alternate existing would be the lobby. The vestibules, the 2 outdoor and now indoor
What
vestibules.
does ACT stand for?
Oh, sorry, ceiling tile, yeah, so the 2x2s. And then the hallway that goes into the existing bathrooms currently on the 2nd floor here. And whatever lounge, whatever option you guys take, other than kind of a ceiling for the lounge area. Light fixtures, again, we would keep all the light fixtures existing now, even in existing areas. This would be for all the areas to get new light fixtures. This number might be a little high, but we weren't sure kind of what finishes you guys would pay at that point, so we left that number pretty.
We found some pretty good 2x2
Yeah.
fixtures by now, so.
So yeah, I think exactly, I think that will definitely come down if that was something that we would choose, or when we go to bid day. The janitor's closet, as she mentioned, in between the kids' world restroom, it would be VC new flooring or mop sand and kind of effort that goes from the walls in there just to kind of spruce up a little bit. We are keeping all existing plumbing fixtures, toilets, in all the bathrooms, where at this point we just remove it, do the work for the tile behind it, and then replace it with the existing fixtures that are currently in there. This would be to replace the plumbing fixtures with new toilets. The only thing I want to touch on with the sinks, we will in the base bid be getting rid of the fountain washing station kind of sink style and existing 2nd floor bathrooms here in the men's and women's. It's kind of like a fountain sink, and we'll replace it with 2 individual sinks in each of those bathrooms. So that will be in the base bid. Everything else would be in the alternate pricing there. New accessories, this is your grab bars, toilet paper holders, things of that nature. We currently are use briefs and existing that are in the bathrooms, but if you wanted to go down the road getting any new accessories, we put an allowance in there for that. The all walls tiled, as we kind of hit on already, would be all the existing restrooms that currently are getting just the wet wall tile, and then paint. This would be that tile all the walls on those bathrooms. Toilet partitions, we have stainless steel called out. So you have like a wheat, like a wheat pack downstairs existing. We're gonna match that in the base bid. This would just be to get more like a laminate. It's really not actually. I was kind of shocked by cost of like it's we only get you down for $2,500. And then as she mentioned, we broke out doing the toilet room, and that's not ground, it's just the 1st floor staff. It would be 37, and that would include everything, the tiling, the ceiling, the fixtures, all incorporated into that number there. And then this last number would be the 2 existing staff bathrooms that you guys are behind the board.
Brooke, one point of clarification, just to make sure I understand this correctly. The alternate prices are sort of loaded correctly with the contingencies and the CM fees and
Correct.
the architectural fees, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why those may look a little high in proportion to some of the other numbers, but we wanted to capture the true additional cost of each of those improvements. And that's consistent with how we've shown budgeting in the past.
Things. Do we know how many toilets do we have? How many? So we're adding 1, correct?
We have added one in the.
In the basement.
We've added one now in the Kids World project that is just wrapping up. We would be adding another with either of those options that you saw with the all gender restroom that's happening
Up here,
up here
right, so we're adding one new toilet,
is part of this project. Yes.
okay.
I think in total.
But do you know how much?
Yeah, I think in total we're 18 unless some of those large restrooms are two. So there's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are urinals, guys, so it's essentially.
So, and in terms of number of bathrooms, like how many? 16. Should have looked at all the bathrooms before. We have 2 staff bathrooms here on the second floor, and then a public men's and women's.
There are actually
currently.
4 staff bathrooms, correct? There are 2 right out here, 2 in the staff lounge,
Okay.
and then the 2 public restrooms currently.
And I think it's important to note that none of the bathrooms you have that are staff bathrooms are the ADA exempt. They are from the original ADA code in 93 that you could put the sink right next to the toilet. The current code does not allow that. You have to have a space so the wheelchair can turn it on.
Oh, yeah, as far as the estimates, are we still seeing like a lot of volatility in pricing, or have things calmed down?
No, things have calmed down,
Okay.
definitely. It wasn't like COVID time where afterwards it was kind of like one, you know, I would do a budget and it'd be one on the lighting and then it would another one, it would be back down.
Yeah, what I would say is, we can't say that things are regressing, but the rate of inflation has definitely slowed. One other thing we should probably mention in terms of schedule is that this has been priced for a fall 24 construction
Correct.
start, correct?
Yes.
So our process here, in terms of schedule and timing, this is a project that, because it's been 3 full grant cycles since we applied for the Live and Learn Accessibility Grant for Makerspace, we are again eligible to get that Illinois State Library Live and Learn Grant for Accessibility. We're hopeful to apply for that in January. That grant, we have an excellent chance of getting that grant, which is $50,000, and that's not incorporated into these numbers. The flip side of that grant means that we can't award contracts for the project until we get the grant notification, which is usually in April or May. By that time, we're right in the summer. We don't want to bid the project and try to construct it in the summer. So we'll be looking at another fall construction start in a schedule that really tracks pretty closely with what we just did for Kids World.
Right.
I apologize, but I just don't remember this. Do we have a budget already set up for this? I know you talked about it in the 2024 budget, but what's the number that we?
700.
It was 700. Okay. So what we're looking at here is 645 for everything as it is. So we've got another 55 with all those particular alternates that we can throw in there and still get to our budget. So I guess the question then becomes, is the staff have a priority? I know you've got a listed 1 through 9. Are those the priorities?
No, this is just preliminary. We haven't really talked too much about
it. Yeah, I just thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had a quick question, Andy. You mentioned just the grant. And so were you still saying, you said it would track if we, you get the April, May, then it would still track for a fall start date? Were you saying still fall 2024?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't I just don't know if you meant like we had to wait and then do another fall.
No.
So, okay, all good. Thank you.
Yes.
This is actually a question for Mike as far as like where that ADA accessible restroom would go. Does that second floor little like mini lobby area get a lot of use?
Doesn't get a ton of use.
Okay,
No, we think this would be a better use of the space.
okay,
And moving it out there, keeping the storage space in the staff room. maybe something for further development, like a mother's room in there or something like
Okay.
that down the road. So I think we'd prefer to utilize this design, have the vending machines facing, we take down that wall that is currently, you know, to the right of the entrance as you walk into the space, and then have the vending machines face outward. It's a little bit more, the vending machines are a little bit more exposed than they are currently, but I think that's, we've looked at, I don't know, half a dozen different configurations. That column that is right there really throws a wrench into everything. So yeah, that this is, I feel like, the best configuration that we've been able to come up with. And
I mean, I
I
know we're
appreciate
not deciding now, but that was my gut feeling. I just
Yeah.
wanted to check
Mhm.
if, you know. if
Wanted
that
to
gets
show
one of
you a
these.
couple different options for how.
I don't know, did you have more to go over or,
Just sort of the recommendations, which,
Yeah.
because I've got some thoughts on this too, but if you want to finish
You
up,
don't-
and I
you
get
don't-
back.
if you don't need me to make sure.
No, why don't you like to do that and then let's say the questions?
Yeah, so nothing is gonna be done to the staff bathrooms?
I think they get new finishes.
It's an option.
Alternate, yeah, right.
But what if you need to make them ADA at some point? Is that going to
We
affect the
won't-
work?
We won't need to with this single user gender neutral toilet. We won't need to make them specifically ADA and move them around. But you have a restroom on this floor that covers that.
That covers that, okay, so, okay, I'm just thinking, you know, you wouldn't want to undo in 5 years.
Right.
What you're doing now, because you have to.
Expand those or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Change those back.
Yeah, we don't have to make every restroom up here accessible since we're only doing finish fixture replacements.
Yeah.
In the existing staff restrooms, we could keep those layouts as they
Right.
are.
Yeah.
And they did comply under the old code.
Mm-hmm.
So recommendations, we would like advice from the staff and the board on to prioritize which areas of work that we want to focus on, so we can get everything that you want done completed in this project. Select the preferred option. I think that's already been done tonight. I can judge what the discussion has. Approve the budget. Select the timeline of completion. Again, we are aiming for fall of 2024. And proceed to allow us to get contracts enacted and get this project going. All right. Great.
Now I've got questions for you. Okay, couple different things. This is in no order. This is how I wrote things down. So the ADA, so our downstairs bathrooms are ADA compliant to the current codes.
I don't
Yeah.
remember any notes in the report about those specifically. They were probably corrected when we redid the finishes in that room.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ADA report really just showed placement of handles and, you know, heights of some of the accessories and stuff like that, but not about the size of the bathrooms.
And I'm guessing by law, we have to, when we do this, we have to have these updated. Do we need them updated upstairs and downstairs?
Go ahead.
Do you need one on each floor?
You do not need one on every other floor.
Okay.
The law, the Illinois plumbing code requires you, because you have a certain amount of staff size, you will need to maintain the staff, so toilets is separate. And then you have you have ADA accessible toilets on each floor. Now you have the Kids World single user toilet, so you already have a single user toilet in the facility, which makes you comply. You just don't have an adult single user toilet anymore. That's really preferred.
So that would be what we're doing up here.
Yes.
So we would do that. Okay.
I think I'd add to that, Greg, yes, it would be possible to separate these projects over a couple budget years. The reason we're suggesting at least exploring alternates, and trying to do this work as a whole is that we'll see some economy of scale of ordering all this tile at once, doing all of this stuff at the same time. It'll definitely be less expensive, even if it's a larger dollar amount now than it would be this sum splitting it over a couple of years.
No, that absolutely makes sense. I guess the reason why I'm thinking about that is because, you know, when we're talking about some of the alternatives that we want to do, if something becomes, when you're doing prioritizing, when something comes up and you say, hey, I really want to do this, but we want to get this underneath $700,000. Is that even an option? I want to know first, legally, is that even an option for us to say, okay, we're going to update these, we're going to do what we need to do, but maybe we don't need to spend the cost on doing that type of. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm just kind of just kind of as a thought process as we're going forward. So
Yes, the staff toilets do not, these single user staff toilets and the one on the first floor do not need to be included. We included them because we were doing the work and we had the contractors on site to do the work. And then we'd be updating all of the tile to be uniform and getting rid of all of the unwanted finishes that are.
I guess put another way, to more directly answer your question, if we're not excluding anything from the base scope of work that we believe you need to do to become compliant.
okay, good, that's good. Sorry, I did a couple more here. Actually 3 more. The walk-off carpet. How often does that have to be? Is that going to have to be replaced as opposed to how the lifespan of tile?
It depends on its wear and use. I'm guessing it's gonna be longer than a standard building because when people come in. Not coming in off of a wet surface, not with the garage, so I would say. The warranty on it is 10 years, I believe,
Yeah.
for the J&J, is that correct? And then, just wear and tear, you'll be replacing tiles out in your attic.
To give you some context, Greg, you've got some walk-off carpet in the Dutton Avenue entrance right now.
Okay,
It's a similar material.
okay. Then as far as the options go, I think you guys are kind of pushing us towards one's option with the two of them. Like my personal opinion on that one. We've been talking about that vending for years and updating that and doing something on that particular one. Somebody asked the question, and might have been, how often does that vending machine actually get used up there? I mean, do we get any money off of that?
Yeah, the vending machines do get used, and people do sit outside of that area. We don't have a lot of people that sit at that counter.
Okay.
So,
because, my whole thought was on there, I don't know if there's any other, because we do have the vending that's downstairs. I get it, it's nice to have upstairs. We do have a good vending area downstairs. Maybe if there's something else to use for that space, just something to consider. But yeah, my personal opinion is all for option A. I don't think that walk through losing that space, the storage space, just for me, just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that would be my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I think you don't want to lose storage and it's a nice flow this way. Can you see the budget page again? Please.
Greg, we'll get numbers on usage for those vending machines and see, if it's not worth keeping them, maybe we'll just eliminate them and.
I mean, you don't have that. For me personally, I don't need to know those. It's just why you're thinking about it. Just something to consider.
No, just looking at this, and I mean, now I want to go and look at every single bathroom very intently, but it seems, I don't know if you're gonna spend the money to update your bathrooms, it seems to me that you would want some new accessories. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to go look at them. I mean, are we updating them because the tile's ugly?
Yes.
Okay, so the accessories are ugly too, are
No,
they?
the accessories have been updated.
Oh, they've been
now,
updated.
yeah, so, they're not very old. And like the toilets, they function,
The clean.
they're clean, yeah,
Yeah, that,
they're not damaged.
Yeah, question on toilets. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Someone just mentioned about adult size. Are all of the toilets adult, or are there ones in the kids' world that are going to be smaller?
This does not incorporate smaller toilets.
Okay, so I just don't even recall now, but do we have small toilets?
I don't. I don't, I can't speak to that.
No, I'm
I don't
just
think I've-
curious what we're looking at.
Yeah, we don't. We put it- Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not even.
we had that discussion with staff when we did the all gender restroom and kids rolled in, because it needed to serve as an all gender restroom for that entire floor.
Right,
We wanted to make it an adult.
good, okay, that's what I just wanted to, just to consider if we were having smaller toilets, if that necessary, so sounds like not small toilets. Okay, good.
Yes, my question just pertained to the all walls tiled. Is there a functionality issue or is just aesthetic and
Cleanliness.
the durability, cleaning, so to wipe off the tiles? And how often
Public bathrooms can be, yeah,
Pretty gross.
do they
We're-
normally do that, like wipe all the tiles or clean staff?
Yeah,
well, yeah, I mean, people. I always say that.
People are messy.
People are messy.
Okay, so
And if I would highly recommend tiling the whole thing.
okay, so that is.
And we're using a special grout, so it doesn't absorb.
Yeah, epoxy.
Epoxy grout, yes,
Always-
that's, you gotta use the epoxy grout.
So
And
that's-
we are talking like the larger.
Urine.
Oh,
gotcha.
well, that answers the question.
Yeah.
My goodness, 47.
Yeah, odors and all that kind of stuff, yeah, so the epoxy grout's the way you wanna go. We replaced all the grout in all of our bathrooms.
The whole purpose of these alternates, of course, is just to give you as a board some flexibility to decide the scope of the project you want to do once we get those numbers on bid day. And while we're hopeful that you'll beat these numbers, have good results. All of this is intended to give you the flexibility for whatever comes up. If we have good numbers, hopefully you can take more alternates. It's just all about giving the flexibility to respond to whatever those numbers are and make it the project that makes sense to you at that time.
All right, thank you. You've given us a lot to think about.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Agenda here. All right.
We had our project running around.
Moving on to other, do you have other?
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you to Sue Sullivan, who just retired after 26 years. She was always a friendly face on the second floor reception area. So we'll miss her, but I'm sure she'll be back and be in the library. So thank you, Sue.
I do have one other. We have an event coming up. Janet will send something, an invite to your calendars, but December 14th, we're having the final Dan and Raymond Movie Club event. So just wanted to invite all of you to attend. That's December 14th from 6:30 to 8:45.
The new Disney movie today.
What's it? Oh, did it?
Yeah, he really slammed that Disney movie. Wish.
All right. Yeah.
I just wanted to congratulate Sarah on a great job that you did with presenting for the board, the village board the other day. That first time could be very nerve-wracking. So congratulations, good job.
Way before the questions, but I came back.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, we are going to move into closed session. So, thank you for coming. Yeah, could I have a motion, please, to move into closed session?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to move into closed session in accordance with 5 ILCS 120/2C1 to review the executive directors.
Second. All right, all in favor? Aye.
That means we can, yeah, let's see.
I will do this up.
Thank you. All right. I would like a motion to go back into open session. So moved. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can we do a roll call?
There.
Trustee Burrell,
Here.
trustee Gala,
Yes, here.
trustee Kelly,
Here. Yeah.
trustee Metals,
Here.
trustee Zick,
Here.
trustee Sabari.
Here. Yes. All right. Now I need,
Open session. You made that motion. Oh, we did it before. Yeah, that's seriously.
I need a motion to approve the closed session minute meetings from the, November 6th closed session.
So.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And now I need a motion to approve the closed session minutes
I
from
read them to you, but yeah. you can-
the closed session meeting of November 21st, 2023.
So
So moved. All in favor? Aye. All right. And
Yeah, I'm
now,
all done.
oh,
Yeah.
do we all need to sign it?
No.
You don't sign it, no?
Okay.
No.
All right, and now I need a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting for November 21st, 2023.
so moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I think we did it. Yes.
I'm gonna be happy then.